And welcome to the Destiny Nerds Podcast, episode 27. So happy to be here. I'm Bearded Luke, and we have some Destiny to talk about. We have a super cool guest tonight, like super cool, like 10 out of 10, best, coolest person ever. But first, my co-host and beautiful man Dime, Maddox, is here. He's down underneath of us tonight, if you're watching this. What's up, bro? How's it going?
What's up? Sorry, I was trying to fix the command there for a second, but I'm good, man. I'm doing really good. I've had a good week. I've had a good weekend vibing and been working out a lot recently since I haven't been playing much Destiny this past week, but
Getting ripped.
just trying to stay healthy and waiting for the new computer to come in.
Heck yeah, bro.
That's something I'm really looking forward to. So
it's coming soon enough. You will no longer be a 60 FPS boy, which is funny it's just funny that you're complaining about it because
I know, but
PS5 and Xbox, whatever, people just got it. So
listen, when you go from sitting at 165, no drops whatsoever, and then you're back down to dropping under 60 every 2 seconds,
and 60
it's
hertz.
A big difference. Yeah, and it's a huge difference. Especially I can stream. I used to be able to stream and game at 165 with no problems at 165 hertz. So it's a big difference, and I can't wait to get back to that because it's going to put me back in a much better place for like PvP and stuff like that. So
heck yeah, dude. Well, introduce this beautiful person that everyone, if you're listening to this podcast, you're missing out because we have a really cool looking dude here tonight. And he doesn't actually look like an octopus.
No,
fair.
Not.
Yeah, actually accurate.
It's actually like he has if you guys are watching, he has a green screen, but if you guys see his streams, he has a really cool backdrop of the ocean, which I'm very jealous of. It looks very awesome, and I'm excited to get to know him. He is Mr. Hardcore, T00HARDCORE. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited. I didn't really know who Bearded Luke was before, but I've seen Maddox around and stuff like that. I'm kind of an introvert on the internet, unfortunately. Like I hang out with a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people, but I kind of keep to myself. And always nice to meet like-minded people who are very passionate about the game just as much as I am. And you know, I just glad I'm on.
Well, we're pumped. I'm pumped to have you. Plus, we might become friends IRL at some point. So,
oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's actually wild.
Turns out you guys live
20 minutes away from each other.
20 minutes away. Like you are not far away from me right now. I could drive to your house right now and get while we're live, and then come and be on your podcast side, and then drive back.
Scene. What a scene that would be.
Crazy.
Holy moly. That'd be funny.
I feel like I've met like increasingly way more people that live where we do. And it's actually shocking. People I never would have thought that lived close to me. There's a lot of us here.
Yeah.
And when I know this COVID stuff is still a thing and people are still getting vaccinated and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people that I would love to go get beers with and stuff like that.
Yes. Same.
Dude, imagine just like a regular like you guys can have a Destiny meetup, but just Ohio people. Like that would still like
the
feel
Ohio
a stadium.
Full stadium.
You can meet in
the Crew Stadium.
Meet in the soccer stadium.
Yeah, we'll meet in the new Crew Stadium. We'll do a full 20,000 streamers.
The new Crew Stadium is wild. I've actually done a lot of work helping them build that, and it's
heck yeah,
really,
it's insane,
dude. That's sick. I filmed the first game, so I was like, this is the coolest place I've ever been.
That's crazy. So I'm a project manager to get off topic a little bit. I'm a project manager for a company that does utility locating, and we also do concrete scanning, and there's a lot of concrete that's going in for that stadium. So we did a bunch of that stuff when it was a lot different looking than it is now.
Dude, I watched it. I drove past it like all the time, filming weddings or going to the studio. Like when I was going, because it's in down. If you're listening, you don't know anything about Columbus. We have a soccer team called the Columbus Crew, and the stadium was in like the middle of nowhere. It was like past the city, and not in the middle of nowhere, but just a place that people don't really go. They built a stadium like right in downtown Columbus with the city in the backdrop. So every time I drove past it, I just slowly saw it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got so hyped because I'm a huge soccer fan. I've loved the Crew since they became a team. Played soccer my whole life. So when I got the opportunity to film on the first day, and like I was on the field, I was like, this is the craziest experience of my life. Like
that's
it was
awesome.
It was
That's
sick.
crazy.
It was sick. But that's cool that you do that. That's really that. See, I would have never known. But I actually wouldn't known anything because I'm just here to ask you questions. So, but let's start with that. I want to know like about you and like what got you into this whole, like, first start with gaming, like when did you start playing games and what kind of games did you like, and then like how did that lead into streaming? I mean, like you're a partnered streamer on Twitch. That's huge. That's we've talked to lots of streamers on here that are partnered, and I always like to say, I sound like a broken record, that is not easy to do. Like that is like super amazing. That's a big accomplishment. So how did you get there? And like, so like, where did your gaming world start?
So I'm 32. Everybody kind of treats me like I'm ancient, and I kind of lean into the meme because it's funny. It is what it is. But gaming for me started when I was young. My grandparents had like an Atari and a Nintendo, and specifically I remember playing Duck Hunt on Nintendo with the gun and everything. And I mean, when I was growing up, video games were kind of becoming their own thing. You had Nintendo, Sega, Dreamcast, all that stuff. I remember plain as day, like it was yesterday. One Christmas, I got the Star Fox N64 with the golden controller, and it came with I got 007 and the expansion pack, and I had this was back when like online gaming didn't exist. Me and my brother would play split screen, and then we'd have two kids that were our best friends at the time that lived down the road. We would play 2v2, slappers only. 007, and then that evolved into like Perfect Dark on N64, and that kind of really started my whole like love for video games. After that, soon, like when I was a teenager, online gaming started with the PS2, specifically SOCOM 2 and SOCOM 3.
SOCOM. I haven't found a friend not in like 2 or 3 years that said SOCOM and knew what it, like, that actually played it.
I look back at that being like my favorite time for gaming. SOCOM 2, playing with my brother, it was so much fun. It was like so new. Like you had to screw in an adapter for an Ethernet cord.
Yeah.
Like it was just wild. Then that turned into like Call of Duty, Halo, and then Destiny came out. And my brother and I, again, my brother's a little bit younger than me, and we got in on the beta because we were on Xbox, into Destiny, and we fell in love. We loved it. We played World of Warcraft together before that. Trials soon came out with House of Wolves, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was just him and I, right? So we were like, well, we need a third to play Trials, and we don't know very many people. And then came in the LFG, Destiny LFG, and we met another buddy of mine, and we ended up we kept playing every weekend to try to go flawless. We weren't great. I wasn't super invested in it. I played not professional COD, but I mean, basically I was ranked in the top 100 several seasons for Search and Destroy on Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and sorry, my wife brought me food.
I thought you were about to pull up like a trophy out
like
or something.
No,
like a pendant or like a medal or
so it kind of started there, and then like eventually I got to connect with an Xbox, and I was like, yo, I can go live on Twitch on my Xbox. And so we would post on, this is like considered scummy now, but we would post on LFG like, hey, I'm live, come play Trials with us. And I'll never forget that first time we took somebody flawless. This person, I don't unfortunately remember who they were. They didn't really stay part of the community. But they were so ecstatic about being able to go flawless, and that was like straight serotonin right into my veins. It was after that I was addicted. I wanted to be live whenever I could. I wanted to help as many people as I could, and things started to build around me. I'd go live and I'd have 10 people, and then a couple weeks later I'd have 20 people, and the same people kept coming back, and they actually came together and bought me my first computer. I mean, they've basically paid for the entire setup. I've been very fortunate to have a very, very supportive community that's been with me since Destiny 1. I've subs in my channel that resubbed for like 46, 47 months now.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's evolved from me sitting on a lazy boy with a Connect to a single PC setup. Now I have a dual PC setup, a full professional audio setup. And we're still memeing around on the internet, trying to help people, with all things Destiny. I kind of try to stay away from calling myself a trial streamer because I feel like I'm more than that. I like to consider myself just a Destiny streamer. I like all parts of the game. I just really enjoy Trials the most.
Dude, that was a fantastic, like, sequence of events, and the fact that your community is so supportive is fantastic, and I love to hear that.
Same. I can see them in our chat currently being supportive.
Yeah.
I always get excited because we live stream. If you're listening to this, I keep saying that because I know a lot of people actually listen to this after the fact, but we live stream it, and it's so fun because we get to see the guests community actually be here and like be alive and talk and just literally meme our guests the entire time, which probably happens in your chat every day. I would assume they just give you crap.
Yeah, they bully me. They like the other day they're like, Kate will come back before your hairline does, which is just tough. It's you know.
I was gonna ask what this
them.
bald core thing's about. Is that like
it's
the
like,
thing?
So I mean, I have hair, you know, like
Yeah, you
I
do.
physically have. I'm not balding. I have a receding hairline, but like Trials is, you know, it's a balding experience right now, and you know,
That is true,
It is,
to say the least.
to say the least.
I'm a big fan. I know a lot of people kind of like they don't like to lean into memes or they don't want to become a meme. I like memeing on the internet and I like leaning into it. I think it makes for a close-knit community. I think it adds to, you know, the whole persona of the stream and stuff like that. So, you know, it's all in good fun.
Oh, it's fun.
It's funny because it's a pretty like common meme, even with your friends as well too, like with Above and Evan. Like
yeah, like we keep having guests on with that are like everyone just makes fun of them for being bald. Like
Evan's
Above's not even bald. Yeah,
no,
he is.
I met Above last weekend actually in person.
Oh, really?
I flew out to Seattle, and yeah, I mean he's, you know, it's tough, right? The hairline's a little tough, but I mean whose isn't at our age? But
For
Evan's
real.
actually bald, so whatever he tells you, he's lying.
There you go.
You went to Seattle. What did you go to Seattle for?
So
Secret
again
stuff?
with that community, no, I was not. No, they don't even know who I am, unfortunately. So like that'd be a lot of people were like, because I didn't say anything. I literally thought it would be funny to just be like, hey, I'm hopping on a plane. I'm going out to Seattle. And a lot of people were like, Bungee Summit. And then I was like, yeah, finally, I was like, no, guys, it's not. Funny enough, one of the first people to be in my chat when I was back on Xbox got married last weekend, and I was a groomsman in his wedding.
That's
So,
amazing. Oh,
yeah,
video games.
That's cool.
Dude,
Literally video games.
speaking of weddings and video games, listen to this. This happened to me this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I'm filming. So like we film weddings and a lot of them moved. So we had a bunch last year that moved to this year. So I'm streaming last year, like chilling. And this dude's in my chat and he's like, yo, what are you doing on July 17th? I'm like, what do you want to know that for? He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm filming a wedding for Derek and Kayla. And he's like, I'll see you there. I'm Derek. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, what are you doing in my chat? Like my couples don't go to my chat and watch me stream.
crazy.
They don't usually know what Twitch is. And
I'll see you there.
we had connected for a minute and I forgot completely like about it. So then like I was doing my meeting with him the other day, like the detail meeting before the wedding. And he was like, I was like, yeah, just me and my other friend are going to be he's going to be my second shooter and just a couple bearded guys. And he's like, oh, I know about Bearded Luke. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, crap, what did I say? And he's like, remember that night last year whenever I found you? I'm like, oh my God. I like connected all the dots. And
That's crazy.
We talked about Destiny for like 40 minutes during this detail meeting. His fiance is probably like, oh my gosh, shut up. And then he had
wedding.
It's crazy. Well, he had found me on recommended, and because he had started playing Destiny and he was just watching his Twitch streams because he was in California because he worked at Apple and his wife was in Ohio still. So he was just like watching Twitch and playing video games. And he found me and he's like, I was talking about someone he knew in real life. And he's like, how do you know that person? I'm like, well, I live in this place. And he's like, what the heck? And he said, he just kept watching. And then he told his fiance, he's like, this dude films weddings and he like knows people that I know. What? This is weird. And she's like, that's our wedding videographer. And he was like, oh. And then I filmed their wedding yesterday. He just kept saying Destiny quotes all day. Like at one point he's like, it's so hot out here. I haven't been this sweaty since Trials. And he was like, no one else doesn't understand that except you. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And he kept telling his friends who play Destiny, he's like, that guy plays Destiny. And they're like, what's your gamer tag? I'm like, well, when crossplay comes out, we can all play together because they all play on like PS5 or something. But sorry, I just hilarious. You said that. It reminded me of like the coolness of the gaming community, right? Like whenever it like merges into real life.
Incredible the bonds that you can build throughout a video game, and I think a lot of that gets lost to the younger generation. Okay, that makes me sound old, but a lot of like younger gamers, I just, like I said, again, we were talking about it before the podcast started. A lot of people take video games way too seriously. It's literally meant to be something you enjoy and you have fun. It's an escape from your day-to-day IRL stuff, and building relationships and meeting people and enjoying content and stuff is literally what it should all be about. So like, it's becoming more and more normal to have friends that you build like relationships with over the internet that you eventually meet in IRL. And it's no longer weird, which I think is a good thing.
I mean, you're sitting with two people that met online,
dude,
and met in Ohio. I drove up to Ohio to meet Luke. I mean, been friends for over a year now.
And
I mean,
now I'm coming in November to see him.
Yeah. Now he's coming to Florida in November. So
nice.
We're best buds. We talk every day. We text each other.
Yeah.
We're basically boyfriends.
Yeah. Technically, he just doesn't pay any rent. Fucking sucks.
Neither do you.
Yo, that's like I've been very privileged to meet a lot of people from all over the place. We've got a large portion of my community that lives in Australia and over in the UK, and without video games, I wouldn't know any of these people.
Right.
And they're such large parts of, my life, my wife's life. Like, we've been trying to like incorporate the kids in streams more, and just be more, like I said, I want more content than just Trials and Destiny and stuff like that. So
do you ever want to like make your family be more of it, or do you like try to protect like that line of like how many kids do you have?
So I have two kids. I have a daughter who's 8 going on 17. Her name's Lily. She's terrifying. And I have a son who's 11 who likes to sleep until 11. He's going through it right now, right? He likes to sleep in, and he likes to play video games and watch YouTube. And he brags to his friends that his dad's a content creator. Dude. And he always compares me to Mr. Beast. I have no shot, but it's always funny.
Bro, that has to make you feel good. Like, your kid is proud of his dad because he's a gamer, like that's pretty sweet. I can't wait to do that one day, like to have a kid that might like the same thing as me, that you can actually play it. Like, you can relate to him in that way.
And they're getting to be that age. Actually, like 2 weeks ago, my daughter and I played on stream Fortnite with Sepp and Cool Cheese.
What?
And
wow.
Yeah, we played Fortnite. And Joe, my son Joe, plays Fortnite too. And my daughter and son are, they're banging out 10 kills a game, getting Vic Roys left and right. They they love Fortnite, and that's what they want to play. I have not introduced them to Destiny yet, but other than obviously my streams, but they don't watch them. They just know that I play. It's a little rated R for them at this age, but if they show interest in that, I would love for them to experience Destiny with me for sure. Especially when crossplay comes out, it's going to be so much better because we have Xbox, we have other consoles and stuff like that they can play with.
Nice, make it a little bit more accessible.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's so cool, dude.
Cool.
I love that. Thanks for sharing.
I tried to get, as you can see, this rig back here, which
with Ray.
Yeah, I built my girlfriend a computer, and we took her through a few of the raids, and she quit because she got so nervous.
Hey, look,
my wife.
She was trying to jump up. We were doing Last Wish. She was trying to jump up after the puzzle on Shochi, and she said, "I can't do it. I gotta get."
I haven't even got my wife to play Destiny
it was
yet.
so funny. I'll never forget that. She's like, "It's getting really hot in here. I don't want to do this anymore."
She's just done. She throws her PC on the ground.
She did complete Leviathans and Scourge of the Past. So
That's
I'm
impressive.
very proud of
Well, there you go. Hey, that is, that's something. It's also cool to realize that there's different types of video games for everybody. Like, my wife doesn't like Destiny or like shooters, but she'll sit down and she'll play Zelda games or
big Sims person back here.
Yeah, she loves The Sims, Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's my language.
She loves that stuff.
I love Animal Crossing.
So this is simple games.
Yeah, she likes, but she's not like as much of a gamer. We're kind of like yin and yang, but we hold each other in balance so it works out in the end. But to answer your question about like the wife and kids and stuff like that, I don't mind sharing that side of my family with my community and stuff like that. I try to not plaster it all over social media, but I mean,
Right.
I've always said like the community, my community that we've built is always and will always be like an extension of my family, especially for people that have been here for years. So I feel like my kids have grown up with them in the community. I mean, they're not always on stream, but I've tried to make it a point now, like if they're around and they're downstairs and stuff like that, to say goodnight to them on camera, let chat see them, introduce them. Like we're going to do more streams where I play Fortnite with them. Those are definitely things that, you know, that I want to incorporate, because I think a lot of my success on Twitch has gone with how personable I am. I'm pretty good at I'm okay. I'm okay at Destiny. I would say I'm average at Destiny, but I think I really shine with how I handle chat, my like who I am as a content creator, and just making people feel welcome is what the goal has always been over gameplay.
Oh, you're so genuine. I can tell. Like that's what we get to talk to a lot of people weekly, and I always feel like their success comes out of them just being themselves. Like you're just being you, and you're fun to hang out with. I mean, I've only hung out with you for what, the 26 minutes, and I'd love to like come like live next to you forever, and we can like.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I mean, you already did.
Yeah, we need to get beers for sure. That needs to happen because
it's happening.
We like another like background thing. Like we're from Michigan. We went to high school together, the wife and I, and we moved. I took this job. We moved down to West Virginia. It didn't work out down in West Virginia, so we moved. They offered me the position in Columbus. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a Detroit fan of sports. I can't stand the Buckeyes, but I love Columbus. We don't want to move anywhere, but we don't have a lot of friends down here. It's kind of hard with me working 40 to 60 hours a week. The wife's doing her thing. COVID being a thing, like we just kind of, you know, we just don't have a lot of IRL friends down here. So yeah, if you know,
I will be your friend and buy you lunch and hang out with you. Like that's what I'm best at. There's like 4 or 5 streamers here in Columbus I'm friends with and hang out with like monthly because I enjoy. We actually have things in common. Yeah, Maddox wants to move here. Maybe one day.
Columbus is great. I can't say enough nice things about it. I feel safe walking around downtown. I love the surrounding areas. The people are all super nice, you know, and there's excellent food. I can't.
Oh man, yes.
I love food in Columbus. There's a lot of good hot spots. So.
We got to go to Hot Chicken Takeover together and eat spicy chicken.
Oh God, you're speaking my language.
Oh my God, can y'all?
It's one of my favorite.
We went to the North Market when Maddox was here, and he got a cheeseburger at the North Market. He didn't get Hot Chicken Takeover. I still tried
it though. My girlfriend got Hot Chicken Takeover. Okay, I still tried it.
Hot Chicken Takeover is like one of those things that it's life changing. It changed fried chicken.
I regret it because the cheeseburger I got was god awful.
Yeah, I got the ramen because I think the ramen shop there is amazing too. But I love hot chicken. I've been to Nashville and it's better than Nashville hot chicken. I'm gonna be honest. Like I've had Nashville hot chicken in Nashville. I'm like, this isn't the same as Hot Chicken Takeover. I got to go back to Columbus.
There is I don't want to name drop him because I don't know if he wants people to know where he lives, but there's another large Destiny streamer that lives in Columbus and he had never been to Hot Chicken Takeover, and I told him about it, and he actually went there that same day and DM'd me and was like, yep, ranch is off the charts, yep, chicken's great, mac and cheese is lit, like it's so good, and like the ranch is free and they give you free like sweet tea or unsweetened tea.
The sweet tea's so good and it's free.
Oh gosh, it's
thank God
it's everything I want in food.
I'm so happy. That's what we'll have. We'll make our first date there if you're down.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them too, which is a cool thing. It's not just in downtown anymore. But dude, that's awesome.
I'm just down here in Florida.
Dude, you got to come to Ohio. I also don't like the Buckeyes, by the way, because I don't care at all about it. Actually, I've lived here in Columbus my whole life, and it's just like shoved down your throat, like Ohio State, blah blah. And I never really understood why it was such a big deal. Like all these people were hyped about these 19-year-old kids running around, and it's like people like live and breathe Ohio State here. It's like Maddox, I don't know, we didn't get to bring you down to campus, but I'll bring you down there sometime when you come back. It is, people just love the Ohio State, and apparently everyone outside of Columbus hates Ohio State. I didn't know that.
I cannot tell you how many houses we've looked at with decorated basements that are scarlet and gray with OSU all over the walls, and I'm like, I don't want to offer on this house.
Yeah, I cannot live here. Or maybe that's why
it's stained.
That's why you're having a hard time getting a house. They know you're from Michigan. They're like, we can't sell to him. He's a Michigan fan.
We wrote a letter. Okay, so this might be karma. We wrote a letter one time and we were like, yo, go Buckeyes. And I was like, I hate myself inside because we wanted the house so bad.
You put like OH, you're like writing the letter. OH.
Oh God, it hurts me. Yeah, it pains me. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't even care. Just say whatever. Like we're a family. We're looking for our first home and stuff like that. It's man. But yeah, other than Ohio State Buckeyes, I love Columbus. I can't stress that enough that this is an excellent place to live. Ohio gets such a bad rap, and I don't understand why.
It hooked me after a week.
About to say, he came here and he lives in Florida, which is where everyone in Ohio goes on vacation to. So I was so
Florida.
surprised when he was like, I hate Ohio. I hate Florida. And he's telling everyone here, like, I hate where I live. I hate it. And everyone's like, why?
Because it's humid, bro.
It's you.
Yeah, it is. But
It's terrible.
I vacation in Florida too, but it's normally in like the winter when it sucks in Ohio. I want to be like we vacation down on Sanibel Island, which is in the Gulf of Mexico off of Florida.
I used to go to Sanibel Island every year for vacation my whole life.
That's crazy.
Why
Oh my gosh. You guys are literally the same person.
What a small world.
That's nuts. Like, not a lot of people know what Sanibel Island is usually. Like, maybe they do. I don't know. I didn't know anyone who knew it for a while, but you know where that is.
I'm just gonna hang out here.
Maddox, like, they're just reunion. I'm sorry. We got to talk about Destiny, don't we?
True. My chat, like, my community's like, oh, he's talking about food again. Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. Yeah, Will talking about food. Man, listen, it's the whole experience, man. I can't just continuously be balding in Destiny. I need to talk about things that bring
You're like, this is bringing me life. I'm talking about other things.
Yeah.
I might have a new friend.
To not talk about Destiny.
2 new friends. You got 2 new friends IRL because Max is going to live here in 1 year, calling it.
You are planning on moving up here?
It's a thought. I want to, but it's like it's tough with like
Don't
the situation
get it
that I have.
twisted though. We have humidity. It's bad.
Oh yeah, it's hot here.
Oh, I know. But I don't have any. I have more IRL friends in Ohio than I do in Florida.
Fair.
I mean, my family's here, but that's about it. So.
And Reagan, your wife, your not wife,
Well, of course,
your girlfriend.
Yeah. On the other side of the door. So.
Hey Reagan.
No, but yeah, let's talk about Destiny without trying to trying to sweat too much, I guess you can say. So, but yeah, I mean, a few things that I want to touch on for sure. Of course, we're going to talk about trials. That's your main source of content, and so there's no way we can't touch on that because I want to hear your thoughts on. We had a really great conversation last week with our last guest, Amp, and we want to like each week we kind of ask like, what do you think about trials? Your thoughts on how to improve it, and what do you see it like its future being, I guess you can say. So we can always start. We've had our ideas. There's a few things that like last week on the podcast, I talked about my expectations of what I would want trials to be, like the perfect trials. And my thoughts were every week or every win, you have a slight chance of getting a randomly dropped roll, whether that's a gun or whether that's an armor piece. First win being like a 1% chance, second win being like a 5%, and it goes up as you go on. Third win, you get a package where you can take it to Saint 14. You can choose a weapon or a gun. Same thing with 5, same thing with 7. When you get to 7 wins and you go flawless, you get an adept piece of weapon, and you get a masterworked armor piece. That's my perfect trials. Loot wise, I'm talking about loot wise. We all know that there needs to be an anti-cheat, little things here and there. Like that's the obvious stuff. But what do you think of trials now? Your perfect trials, and where do you see it in the future?
God, I could go on for like 4 hours on this topic. I think we can all agree trials is kind of dated, but I think Bungie is afraid to mess with things that people. What's the word I'm looking for? The nostalgia, right? Destiny 1 has a lot of it. And I think a lot of people look at Destiny 1 with rose tinted glasses. There was a lot of good things about Destiny 1, but I will always say Destiny 2 is just a better game overall.
Agreed.
In terms of trials, You already mentioned anti-cheat needs to happen. The base game mode needs to be changed. They need to come up with something that is objective based, that forces players to actually play the game. Elimination caters towards people not wanting to push and engage, and it turns from gun fights when they do happen, then they're not gunfights, they're ability spam, into who can get supers first. And I think that needs to change. I don't know what game mode would make the most sense, because back when it was Trials of the Nine, we had countdown and wasn't it survival?
Yeah. It was random.
And it was random. So I don't know what they need to do to make that better. But I think elim needs to be looked at as a whole.
That's a very popular thing that people have been saying that I've gotten the report from, and I can't but agree with that, because I like with the same things that you mentioned. It just caters to a terrible play style that is so easy to adapt, or like to kind of sink yourself into, unfortunately.
Along with that, I can't take credit for this. This is another idea from another content creator, but unbreaking cards. We need to casualify the game mode. Destiny Trials specifically, it's not competitive. There's just, the hitboxes are too large. There's too much ability spam. The loot isn't like, there's not a big enough difference between an adept and a regular igneous hammer. Obviously you get adept mods and stuff like that, but you're not losing fights solely on whether you have one or you don't have one. There's too many other factors that go into it. So in my opinion, I think they need to get rid of like the mercy, especially if they're not going to create cheaters. I think if you do what you say and you give the average player a chance to get a random piece of gear per game, like win or lose, and you say, okay, if you get to 7 wins and it takes you lose like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, but you get 7 wins, you can get an adept piece of loot. I don't think that's going to break the game. I think if you go 7 wins without losing, we need to start getting into the cosmetics of the game. Glows, titles,
emblems,
ships,
ornaments,
ghosts. The best form of Destiny is Drestiny in my experience, and there's no better feeling than flexing those things over other people. But it's not fun to flex things that are like, Not Forgotten was a good example. Like the gun was just so insane and not everybody could get it, so it led to people just paying for people to get it for them. I think there's less of that. I don't think recalves are ever going away, but I think there's less of that if you make it feel like it's accessible for everybody.
And everyone has a chance. Yeah.
Everybody has a chance to get something. They need to also, with that, if you're going to label Trials as your end game PvP experience, we need to make sure that we're not getting anything less than a 60 stat roll piece of armor. It needs to be worth it. It's not breaking the game. And for me right now, my end game is tuning my armor stats. I'm big on trying to get like zeros in every column. I want no wasted stat points. I want to have different builds for different things. I think, touching on another point that you had, being able to go to Saint 14, I think RNG is great. It's their secret sauce. They put that shit on everything. Oh wait, am I allowed to swear?
Go right ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry. They put it on everything, but nobody enjoys RNG on top of RNG seasoned with RNG. I think you need to have some type of control when it comes to loot. Targeted loot, whether it's you choose armor or a gun, or maybe you get more specific. My idea has always been give Saint 14 a recaster, and the more trials you play that weekend, the more you unlock. So if you play a lot of trials, let's say it's like the servitor in the Helm is right now, where you can unlock more Ingrams that are more specific. Like if you play, 50 games or whatever it's tied to, you can go back to Saint 14 and convert your tokens or whatever into an Ingram that can only drop, let's say, like an igneous hammer or a sniper rifle,
right?
Or a focused trials piece of gear with recovery. Something that gives the player a control, because the biggest issue with Destiny, yes, again, I'm beating a dead horse. Anti-cheat cheaters are a big issue, but the biggest problem in my eyes is the game just doesn't reward you for time invested. And it's not just Trials that suffers from that. It's a lot of activities. So yeah, revamp the token system, take away mercy cards. I know people are going to hate me for this, but crossplay coming needs to not be opt-in. I think they need to put us all in the same player pool, and I think, unfortunately, I think it'll be better for the game. I think dividing the player base with cheaters and stuff like that is a mistake. It's only going to get worse. And of course, if they come out with an anti-cheat, that's kind of irrelevant, right? If they put all the player bases together, everybody will be happy. The only thing I would say is you can't put old gen with everybody else because they're locked at 30, but there should be no issue with people that are playing on next gen consoles that are at 60 plus FPS with a controller. They can still compete with PC players.
I can agree with that.
They also need to be a lot quicker on loot rotations. We've seen the addition of, what did we get? We got all we got was an SMG. That was it, right?
Yeah.
But other things put back in the loot pool that was out last season, which was like the sniper.
They need to revamp the entire weapon pool and then make the old ones random drops from playing trials.
Yeah.
They need to start doing a better job at utilizing their content and putting more value within their content that they design. A great example of that is for the longest time now, raids are locked at 1 drop per character, 3 per account or whatever per week. And then nobody really runs the raids after that unless they're helping people. I don't understand why they don't say, hey, put a raid on a rotation and say, hey, once you complete this the first time, you're going to get your pinnacle gear, but you can then go back and complete it several other times and get random drops again. I don't understand why like old raids are just kind of there. There's no purpose for them. Other than to run them one time. I just think that would just make way more it would just put more value into their content that they spend so much time developing.
Very well said.
So yeah, that's
very well said.
That's amazing.
That's kind of where I'm at with trials. Is it just needs an overhaul. A lot needs to be done, and I don't know if they have it in them. I think they're afraid because everybody likes to old man get off my lawn, yell at them on Twitter.
Yes.
As recently was addressed on Twitter. I saw that the other day.
Especially when they did Trials of the Nine, like that was like them trying to, make Trials different. And we saw
primary,
it was different. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be upset if we lived in a world where that was another kind of like another competitive mode. Like there was like a 4v4 competitive mode called Trials of the Nine, and then there's like the 3v3 that has like a whole new set, and then there's the competitive mode, and then there's the quick play. I mean, they have to work. We talk about this every week. They have to be working on something right now. Like there's no way that they're not. If they're not, I keep saying this, if they're not working on anything, then you just get rid of it then eventually, because everyone's just gonna explode, like literally.
I hope so. I would also hope that they're looking at like to not, this isn't Trials specific, but it will tie into Trials. Also, like special ammo economy needs to be addressed. I don't want to go back to double primary. I think that again, people wanting double primary want Destiny to be competitive, and it's not going to be competitive. I just don't think they have the manpower to do it, but I think they can make it more enjoyable for people that want to treat it competitively while still maintaining accessibility for casual users. So if they widen the skill gap, rein in abilities a little bit, tweak special ammo, but give players that aren't necessarily super good at the game a reason to play the playlist, I think everybody's going to have a good time. Like all these casual players are terrified because they think if that happens, they're just going to constantly run into stacked teams. And that's not true at all. If the population is thriving, you're going to play more people that are within your skill level than you are like right now. And that whole fantasy doesn't include skill-based matchmaking.
I would like to see, to kind of go back on it's a very popular thing. There's not just a few things that's going to fix Trials. It needs to be looked at
it's big,
as a whole, and just completely 180. And I can't agree with that, because there's not many things that I'm like, oh, I cannot like wait to play Trials this weekend. No, I want to see something different to where it's like, I really cannot wait to play. Like, hey, let's get on 1 o'clock at my time and run it reset. Because it's like that addicting, like it used to be,
I used to run home from work to play. I used to get lost in Trials. I still do, but it doesn't have the same feeling.
It doesn't. I get off an hour before trials resets, like off of work on Friday, and I can come home and I can stream it if I wanted to, but I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I'm like. I'd rather go to the gym or like watch anime or something. Like it's to that point where I'm like, I don't really care. But there's one thing that would interest me that I would probably get on, and in this current state right now, is if they one weekend they tested it. They tested Countdown on a specific map. I would really like to see how that works, because you mentioned different game mode. I want to see them, like, maybe in the next, not of course next few weeks, but maybe in the near future, throw a different game mode in there for the first time ever, and just see how it plays, even if it's for a day. Like, hey, all Saturday is nothing but Countdown. All right, then we'll go back to Elim for the rest of the weekend, but do it on a map that makes sense with Countdown. You know what I'm saying? And there's not a lot of them, but there's a few where, like, it'd be very interesting to see, or even make it skirmish, make it 3v3 clash or something different, so we can, because that'll get a absolute crap ton of people in there.
Oh,
and that'll
yeah.
get an absolute crap ton of feedback as well too. Hey, that felt amazing. Can we see that again? Hey, can we see this instead? Or like maybe this map, or maybe this map instead, and just get that they want feedback. We want to give it to them, but you can't just keep giving us the same stuff. We can only give you so much feedback, you know, as you said, like your stuff that you said is very common in the trials world of what needs to change. Give us a change and let us tell you how it is, you know, live, like literally this weekend or whatever. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, it's a good
And
idea.
unfortunately, I've always been very respectful, but open to criticism, like conveying criticism constructively to Destiny, like to Bungie and the devs and the community managers. And at the whole, like, we're listening thing, that meme, like, they're definitely listening. The issue is now is we want to see.
Yeah.
We want you to show us. And
You want us to prove it. Yeah.
it can't get, Destiny PvE is great, right? I would say it's pretty good. It's got some really stale seasonal content that probably needs a facelift, but they are an indie studio, and losing Activision and Vicarious and all the other studios definitely hurt them. But PvP can't get worse, so it's time to take a chance. It's time to make big changes. And if they don't work out, like, the community, the level-headed ones, the ones you should be listening to, are gonna tell you it's not working, and then you adjust from there. Like, I'm tired of feeling like I'm talking to a dono wall when, like, none of the community managers, I've never had an interaction with them, and I don't feel like they owe me that, but I mean, we all in here have friends that are large content creators that they also don't interact with.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so weird for a studio. It's unfortunate, because we all, at the end of the day, want the same thing. We love Destiny. We want to see Bungie succeed.
Absolutely.
We want to see the game in the best state that it possibly can be.
100%.
I think sometimes, unfortunately, like, it's a pride thing. I think they're, what's the word I'm looking for? I think they're, you know, they're just too prideful. They want to do it on their own. I know they're doing these Bungie summits and stuff like that, but we don't ever really hear what the feedback is.
Yeah.
What the
No,
conversations
it's just,
are like.
hey
It's all
guys,
in
I was part of the
secret.
summit. We got
It's
great
just a
stuff coming.
tweet
Here we
saying
go.
they got to go.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the future. It looks bright, and it's like,
Okay.
Where?
man,
Where's the
You got. We should go
light?
back to the ones from like 2 months ago when they said that and be like, "Hey, what happened? Like, what was the thing?" I
When
think
did
that
the
2
NBA
months,
come
dude.
up?
It was
Yeah.
3-4 months when I first started seeing that stuff.
I think Bungie in some ways are living in like an old mentality of, I think the way gaming is going is a lot different than it used to be, where like it used to be like we got these games on our consoles or whatever and we played it and there wasn't really a lot of like change that happened to it. It was kind of just like,
you either take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
and
you
then
beat the game and you move on.
now
Yep.
like the actual communities that can now, like on Twitter, I can, like, the fact that I can somehow talk to a developer in the game via the internet and kind of talk to them about how I feel about the game or vice versa. Like there's like a whole new world that they could be taking advantage of. Like you said, like there are literal people like you who people play this game because of you. Like they same with you, Max. Like they watch you and they want to play it and they want it to be better. So like, I think that they're living in a little bit of an older realm of like, we got this. We're the game developers. We're going to make it. I trust them. I know that they can make the game technically, but like the community that has been playing your game for 7 years, they know this game a lot and they really want it to be a specific way. So I think like listening to them and using them as an advantage, like more of an advantage, not just like we're listening to you, we see you, and like having like 5 or 6 really big creators be the ones they listen to. I mean, like all the way down to like ask someone who doesn't stream about the game how to make the game better, all the way up to somebody who's partnered on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever.
And like I said, I want to re-preface the fact that like I don't think I deserve to be that voice. I just want to push the fact that there are a lot of people out there that should be that voice that I feel like they are being ignored. Yeah. There are plenty of way more intelligent people than me that speak better than I do, that, you know, that would fill that role that I would love to see. And I honestly feel like they're jaded from past experiences. I mean, kind of going off on a tangent here, but that BSK stuff that happened, that hurt Bungie a lot because those were people that they were taking in to take feedback from. And I feel like Bungie is hesitant to talk with PvP players because let's be honest, we yell a lot, and a lot of people yell in a manner that is not okay to talk to other human beings. So I can see why they're skeptical, but I also feel like they're not trying at all to find individuals, to seek out individuals that can convey information in a respectful and constructive manner.
Right. I mean, I guess that's what they do these summits for, to be honest, is to keep them in the almost like, I would almost want to be like, not even know who was a part of it. You know, I almost think it's like a requirement after, hey, guys, go tweet about it. Go show off.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be better off as an NDA.
I didn't tell you anything, by the way, but I wanted to let you know I was part of this summit this past weekend. Great things coming.
Hey,
Destiny,
you know you would do it though if you were on it.
I would be fantastic. I would feel great to be a part of that. But like, and of course, I'm speaking from someone that I'm nowhere near. I don't have a YouTube platform or like stuff like that. I don't know a lot about the game in the sense that people make money off of creating content for it. But I have decent feedback. Hardcore has good feedback. Luke has good feedback. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm speaking. I want to see the stuff that they're hyping all this stuff up. I want to start seeing it on paper, like with all these TWAB. They have a weekly thing that comes out, by the way. Is there any other game that you guys can think of that has a weekly like presentation?
Not
almost?
that I see people get hyped about on Twitter still.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like,
here's the thing about the TWAB too, is I feel like it's starting to change. I feel like it used to be very, very jam-packed.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it's getting less and less, and people are hanging on to that routine. You know, they're like, oh, this could be the TWAB, the one that does it. But every week it just seems like DMG or Cosmo are like, this one's going to be a little light. And it's like,
for like 13 weeks straight.
I mean,
I think we've had one good one in the past like 2 months.
Yeah,
and that was the presentation of like some of the new weapons and stuff coming, like with the moon weapons and stuff.
I understand. I think they're too secretive. I don't think they need to be this secretive, in my opinion. And I don't want to come off as entitled, because in hindsight, they do interact and convey information a lot more than a lot of other companies. But this has been conveyed by them that this is what they want. But it doesn't really translate, in my opinion. It just, I don't know why we're not hearing anything about season 15, as everybody keeps trademarking it as the PvP season. But we don't know what we're getting yet. We have no idea.
Absolutely nothing. We know more about what's coming in Witch Queen than we do what's coming in the whole season beforehand.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not fair. And it only, I'm going to sound selfish here, but it only seems to happen when it's related to PvP. And I'm tired of them saying PvP is a core game mode and a part of the Destiny universe, and we value its contribution to the game as a whole. And yet we still feel like an afterthought. It's been, what, 2 years since we've had a new map? And I know people hang on to that and they're like, that we need maps. Like, yeah, I want to see new maps, but I really want them to focus on the things that are broken and need tending. Like, my idea, I've conveyed this a couple times, and I don't know if I've heard anybody else talk about it, but honestly, the seasonal content is getting kind of stale with like the recaster and the seasonal activity. Man, What if they took everybody off for a season, and they focused all that man, woman power, person power, want to be correct, and they focus on fixing the things in the game that are an issue now instead of adding and compounding.
Quality of life. Just a big quality of life season.
Yeah, like screw all that other stuff.
Life.
Just complete quality. It's they
Make-
call it the quality
yes.
of life season.
Yes.
Season of quality.
Season of quality.
And just focus on, because I mean, we're starting to get there. I would say like some of the things that shine bright in D1 are the little things, right? Arms day, running to the tower, seeing what, you know, weapon rolls or armor rolls reset at the gunsmith, being able to, you know, log in and go get that hawk saw with the perfect roll that everybody wanted. Those little things are what people really miss about D1. Let's be honest, the meta and stuff like that went through a roller coaster just like D2 did. It was trash sometimes, like sticky grenade meta, Dreg's promise meta. Like, people can talk about how great D1 is all they want, but like they have to realize that it's just as bad in D2 as it was in D1. And if they transferred those things over, I think it would just make D2 way, like, it wouldn't even be a question anymore. But like I said, I don't think that's a popular opinion. I think casual players would be like, I want my content. I paid for seasonal content. I don't want quality of life updates. And I think that's just unfortunate.
That's true. I get a decent question here that I would want to hear from all of us, I guess, in a sense. But season 15 is the one that's leading up to Witch Queen. And we'll talk about Witch Queen in just a moment. But very briefly, I want to hear if they were to do something like that, where it's like there's no new story just yet, or there will be very little story leading up to Witch Queen as time comes on. Because we have, what, 4 or 5 months for Witch Queen to even come out. So we have to have a whole season like just lengthened out until Witch Queen comes out. What are your things that you want to see before Witch Queen comes out? Like, what do you, I guess more so your like priority changes? Like, what needs to happen before we get back into it, before we get to the big, DLC, time of the year where that Destiny always has? It's a loaded question. So
I think the easiest one to say is, I think if they truly care about PvP as much as they say they do, they need to slam dunk an anti-cheat, or they need to come out and be like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, one or the other.
There needs to be something. So like with the recent events with Aachen or Bacon, DMG was specifically cited as and quoted as saying there is an anti-cheat. Well, if that's the case, now I don't want you to tell me specifics, but we need to, it's been months, we haven't heard anything. I don't want you to be like, there's an anti-cheat, this is how it works, this is what it detects, yada, yada, yada. That'd be stupid. Nobody wants that. What we do want to hear is yes, there is an anti-cheat that we've implemented. It's not very good. We are working on resources and things to make it better. Here's a time frame.
Expect it by this, or
and we can hold them accountable or not. I mean, it's whatever. But I mean, anything at this point would be great, because right now cheaters are running your game over, and they're not
just PvE, by the way, and not just PvP.
Oh yeah, they're doing it in Gambit. They're doing it in raids. They're doing it in World First raids. Like, they care more about VoG World First being non-tainted than they have trials. And I know that they're in the grand scheme of things, in the balance of things, I understand that VoG and day one raids are way more important than weekly trials, but you gotta meet us halfway. You gotta do something. That's where I would start. I would also like to see them kind of, this is a tough question, because I really feel like Destiny in other places is in a really good spot. They swallowed their pride. They removed sunsetting.
Hallelujah.
So I think that's great, but I think they just need to give it, bring back the menagerie. Is that something that I can say?
Yes,
absolutely.
It's been said by many guests, honestly, that have come on the show. People literally want Menagerie back.
Or something so like Menagerie.
It's so simple, right? You think about it, you're like, well, Menagerie was great. It gave you control over a lot of things, and it was a farmable activity. Why would you remove it? You could literally just take those sets and weapons out and replace them with old seasonal stuff and just keep rotating.
Weekly rotations. Like there's so much you could do with Menagerie. This boy right here did 28 straight hours of it or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
me?
I want them to realize the value in their content. That's what I want before the Witch Queen. I want them to reward us for time invested in activities, and I think they're slowly starting to see that. Changes need to happen faster.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Kind of recognize them faster as well too would be nice.
Yeah. I guess we're lucky. We are luckier than like back when the April update was a thing. Remember in D1 when it was like 9 months of not having one single change because it wasn't as easy as it is now. But
yeah.
if I had to think of some things that I would like to see from like this random season, if it's called the random season or whatever, I think it'd be cool if they just did like a test season. Like if they wanted to like treat it like a lab, I guess, with the Crucible, for instance. Like I think that it's gonna work. Like I don't know. I feel like whenever they have in the past brought big Crucible changes, they bring them, and then it's just like they probably missed the mark in one way or another because they didn't actually, like, none of us actually got to play it. And if they could lab that out somehow throughout an entire season, whether that be like a competitive mode that they just brought in or a new change to trials or a new I don't know, just something weak. I know none of this is realistic. They're not going to do this, but like if they did something like a weekly change to Crucible all the way throughout a season, which is testing and helping them actually test something that they're working on that's going to come out when Witch Queen comes out, I think that'd be really cool on the PvP side of things. On everything else, like I still want like a whole change to the progression system with leveling, with like what it means to level, with doing old stuff, or at least if we're gonna do old stuff, making old stuff more rewardable. I don't know. There's just like a lot of like you said, hardcore, just like, you know, housekeeping things, just make the game better. Like just the little small things that we've all kind of just like a whole season where all they have to do is like, listen, you don't have to be, I don't even want any story. If I'm being honest, I just want this, whatever's happening this season to end. And then we just are kind of chilling until the Witch Queen comes. Like I want that story to be so hype. I don't care
the
if there's
game
any,
just in itself.
Yeah, I don't care if there's any story leading up to it. I'm gonna be excited. Everyone's gonna be excited and playing for the 2 months leading up to Witch Queen. Everyone's gonna be hyped about it anyways because, you know, it's Witch Queen. But in this season, it'd be really cool just to like they could just fix stuff for a whole season. Like you don't need to add anything. Maybe just slowly add stuff, but in a different way where I'm not doing a seal, because I do all the seals, but the seasonal seals specifically are not fun. I don't know anyone that said that was fun to do them. They're not. Like I don't want to do the seasonal activity like 1,000 times. Like I want to do it until I'm bored of it, which usually is a 1 week because I think the seasonal activities are boring. But I don't know. That's kind of like as far as I could go. I'm gonna be happier regardless, probably just because I'm gonna be in a different season of life in the next season because I'm gonna have a house and I have my own space and I'll be able to play more. Right. So just playing the game in general will make me happy. But like the things we're all frustrated about,
like super. And again, I'm gonna preface that I totally want to see Bungie succeed, and I love them. I love Destiny, but I feel like they are on autopilot and they are just doing the bare minimum, and I'm tired of seeing it. And a great example of that is the Solstice event, right?
Yes,
we have literally just a carbon copy.
Yeah, we have the same space with the same whole idea, with the same grindy bullshit that we had last year. They added some jump pads in the EAZ, woo, and they gave us a shotgun. I just don't I don't code and I don't know a whole lot about it. So this might come off as ignorant, but I mean it respectfully. Where is all the resources going? Like why is it so few and far between that we get things that wow us? Like it's all the same. We get a recaster, we get a seasonal activity like Override or the Battlegrounds, and then we get like Iron Banner hasn't been touched in years.
No.
Armor, I mean, we get a couple new weapons, but I mean, the quality of life on Iron Banner is about as low as it is for everything else. Like you complete an Iron Banner game and you know what you get? 18 blues and nothing relevant to the game.
Yep.
Mode.
Yep.
And then you have to turn in, I turned in like probably 10,000 tokens over the span of this season and last season. I've gotten like 2 multi-mocks. Like it's just, that needs a facelift, but like I said, I'm tired of the bare minimum changes. I want you to wow us. And I feel like that's not asking for too much. You're an incredible studio. They are bringing on more help, though. From my understanding.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we've been in this perpetual state of just them skating by with the bare minimum. And I feel like when you speak that opinion, you get blacklisted. And that ties back into the why I feel
Them
like a
not
lot of
talking to you.
content creators, they don't want to talk to you. Like, it's not healthy in my opinion, and it's not fair. Like, you're allowed to be critical of things. The greatest example is like marriage, right? So Luke, you're married, right?
Yep.
And Maddox, you're
Not married.
soon to be, but you're in a serious relationship.
In a
Right?
relationship, yes.
Okay. Well, like, a great example is marriage. Like, I love my wife to death. She's my better half, but there are instances where we disagree or we argue about things, but at the end of the day, we both want the same thing. We're both in it together. And I think a lot of people, devs are humans too. I think a lot of people forget that you can love something and be super passionate about something, but have a negative opinion or things to say about those things. I mean, it's healthy to have arguments and disagreements and stuff. If everybody just agreed on everything, it'd be so vanilla in the world.
Mm-hmm. It's what makes things great. Like, having so much passion and love and high expectations for something that you're not just a yes man to, like, the whole entire aspect of it. Like, the way it gets better is being hard on it. Like, I feel that way about everything in my life, not just Destiny, but like even videos I make. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be critical about if someone's doing an edit.
That's a good word. Critical.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to be critical on like an edit or something. It's not because I hate someone or I think that they're bad at the thing. It's because I want the thing to be the best that it can be. And that's what we want Destiny to do, because we
Absolutely.
can. I'm just kind of nervous that they're working on this new whatever, the new game that everyone keeps saying that they're working
Their
on.
IP.
Yeah.
I don't know IP. Yeah.
I don't know if that's where their resources are going or if they're like,
It's a mobile game, isn't it?
I have no clue. I don't know anything about it. That's just something that everyone tells me whenever. That's like the new excuse for why things are so subpar right now.
I don't know. Unfortunately,
Interesting. Destiny Mobile.
I want to be a fly on the wall at Bungie because I want to understand what conversations go. If you look back at Trials several months ago, when it first came back, it had several 100,000 players. That doesn't include the traffic that you see on YouTube and Twitch while they're live playing it. I just don't understand why they don't tap into that potential. Like, now we're seeing weekends where like 1,000 players in Trials is healthy.
Yeah, that's horrible.
When
Day one VOG, there was
10,000.
9 players.
Yeah.
Day one VOG, there was literally 9 people on Steam playing.
I just if it's money issues, that's what I'm really getting at. Is you have this uniquely amazing FPS that no other game has come close to filling. Like, I do play other games. I've played Tarkov. I've tried Apex. Unfortunately, the FPS aspect of Destiny, the PvP, is just one of a kind, and it's not something that is replicated easily. But I just don't feel like they give us a ranked mode. If casuals don't want to play a ranked mode, that's fine. But you know how many like hardcore players are going to grind a ranked mode? Like something as simple as like the old Halo format or one of the Call of Duties where it's like a ladder system and it doesn't lead to a not forgotten. It leads to titles, glows, cosmetic stuff. Like, we just want something to grind that's fun.
Something next to our name or something like that.
Yes. And I guarantee you're going to see a rise in because right now all they're going for is daily login numbers. They want to show like the money side of things, like, oh, look at how many concurrent players we have log in every day, because all they're doing is we're doing chores.
Yeah.
That's it.
Literally.
But it would take care of itself if they put more value into other game modes.
Makes sense.
Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, I love
you're
it.
fine.
I love the
You're
passion. The passion makes me happy.
Yeah, it's obvious to tell that you give a shit about your game and your hobby and stuff like that, and it's awesome. And I think that's how everyone should take a look at it, and take a step back and understand the what they're doing and what you want them to do, and that may not be the same as everyone else, but it still shows that you care. and I think it's safe to say a lot of us do, and we want to see this game, do good because we play it.
I don't want to have to like invest in a new game for 2,000 hours. I want to just I've never played a game more in my life than Destiny, and I'm committed. Like this has been years. I've never had something like this other than FIFA, but like that isn't the same.
I just loaded up. I mean, I have 31 hours on record on Steam alone in Destiny.
I just hit like 2,700. Yeah.
It doesn't include like what I spent on BattleNet or Xbox. Like,
it means something to you.
Yeah.
It's crazy that a game can do that for us, and that we're like on a podcast that we created to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like that's how much we care about this game. Like we literally talk to community members every week about how we love it and how we want it to be better, because it's cool. First of all, it's fun for us, but also for our communities. We want our communities to enjoy it, and like when we're streaming and making content, it's more fun whenever it doesn't suck. Like where you don't have to be balding because Trials is so rough.
It's true.
So Cheerio thought I meant 31 days. No, I quite literally mean 3,100 and some change hours on Steam alone playing Destiny. And I do not orbit sit. If I'm not playing the game, I close the game. That is me playing Destiny in some fashion.
There you go.
That's amazing. Well, all right. So we're running out of time, but I want to ask you this before, because we've been kind of talking about this. We're going to talk to everybody about this until Witch Queen comes out. What are you looking forward to with Witch Queen? Like, what do you think's going to happen? Do you have any sort of like expectation, like any expectations, or like are you just excited? Like, what do you think's going to come from Witch Queen? Do you have any like ideas?
I hope Witch Queen. So story wise, I think we kind of saw it with the Splicer stuff with the Smallin in the tower. There's some tomfoolery going on with some people that don't seem to be as trusting as we thought they were. I kind of hope that there's like a oh my what the moment where we're like, this homie was super close and now they've betrayed us. They're under, because the preface is this is where we meet Savathun, right? Like this is where it's going.
Yeah. Basically,
and she's known from like she mind controlled a crow to kill Cade, right? Essentially. Am I dumb?
Yeah,
something like
that.
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm not as invested in the lore. So
neither am I.
I enjoy the lore, but I do not know the minute details.
But my thing is I think we're gonna find that there's a snake within like the ranks, and I hope we get to finally. We've been building up to the Savathun thing for a while, so I would like to
years. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to finally face Savathun face to face. I hope they kill it with that raid. Bungie does an excellent job with designing raids. I hope we see new boss mechanics. I hope we see things that push and test the limits of our fire teams. But I also hope they double down on other content. VoG was a huge success. Nostalgia is a big selling factor. I think the next play for them is to bring Crota back as, I know people are going to hate me for this.
Don't say it.
As a dungeon.
Don't say it.
And I hope they bring back King's Fall as a remastered raid.
Yes. Hallelujah.
But if they're going to do that, I want them to lean into the nostalgia more. The weapons are great. Literally let me have I'm trying to think of what it was labeled as. I want the old armor back. I want the ones at the end of it where they were glowing.
Yes.
The ornaments. Age of Triumph.
Age of Triumph ornaments.
Yes. Some of the best armor Destiny Bungie has ever produced.
Absolutely.
Yes,
if anybody disagrees with that, you're incorrect.
Yeah, you're wrong if you don't like that.
and it's a win-win, right? You get lots of content that comes back with weapons and armor, while utilizing other aspects to what they need to do is they can't just give us that, right? They need to use that as a seasoning salt to a main course. They need to give us those weapons and those armors back, but they need to deliver on a season specific loot pool that is girthy. I want things to chase. I want guns. I want, and they kind of did a better job. Season of the Splicer brought us
there was a lot of
Rush,
things.
Grid Skipper, Ignition Code. SMGs, Shakira's WAP. Sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Other than that, that's how I always call it. There's a lot of things to chase that is super good. But I don't want them to be lazy. So I want the whole main course. I want a new raid. I want them to bring back old stuff. I want them to give us lots of loot and give us rewards for time investment. I can't stress that enough.
Agreed. I think with Witch Queen, and I said this, I think we were speaking to above, because we asked him that was whenever we started kind of asking the question to our guests, is like, what do you want in Witch Queen? What's your priority? What needs to happen for you to like say it's a great DLC? And I simply said I want to get my ass whooped. I want my Guardian to feel like there is a higher being out there that we did not know of, or we were unexpectedly hit with, and just smack me around like a rack of ribs on a grill. Like, I want you to beat my ass. And then when we get our ass beat, we grind back up and we face that raid and we kick their ass. That is like a story that I'd love to see. And like you said, the new stuff and old stuff, I love nostalgia. I love the fact that VOG came back. I'm really excited to see King's Fall. That was by far my favorite raid. I would love to see that before Witch Queen comes out. I think that's some stuff that we need in the game before. That
would get us hyped for it a little more, probably.
Absolutely. And I don't think Witch Queen is something where they need to bring back anything old. I think the old stuff needs to be there in the mix of, the games get a little bit stale. You've played the season for 2 months now. You've beaten the new content. You've gone through all the seasonal and the weekly missions, like the Expunge, for example. And then boom, here comes another update. They just did a mid update, by the way, with all the new moon weapons and stuff like that. That's a mid-season update. Imagine they throw Crota in there mid-season. Imagine they throw, hey, guess what? King's Fall.
Dude,
bam,
what if they bring the Dreadnought back in as like because remember when Taken King came out, they started throwing Taken randomly in spots. What if they like bring the Dreadnought back to like pop off the story?
Pre-Forsaken, you had a week on Mars or whatever where you could get a Forsaken stuff, or like something Forsaken happened.
It was like a little leak, like a little
literally like
to come.
Or the pre-House of Wolves, the little treasure keys and stuff, something like that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I also I like that stuff, but I want them to realign and get their ducks in a better row, essentially. And what I mean by that is I'm with you, Maddox. Let the new content speak for itself. We don't need the Witch Queen raid right away, because I think they need to refocus their content. Raids should be the end game content. I am tired of Grandmasters being, because the raids are a joke. After contest modifier, they're a joke, and I think that's just unfortunate. I don't understand why we grind. We hardly grind. We go into a raid, which is essentially what they want to dub as their end game content. We struggle on contest modifier. We steamroll, then we grind that for several weeks with pinnacles to do grandmasters, to do strikes, essentially,
to have a contest modifier on it. So then your light level doesn't really matter, but you have to be a certain light level to be a part of it. But you can still,
the whole entire system needs change. The whole system needs change.
The leveling needs to be addressed. Questing needs to be addressed. The artifact seasonal mods are a good idea in theory, but you're artificially inflating our level is meaningless. It doesn't serve a purpose, in my opinion. I hate the fact that I'm 1341. I'm a big fan of like 3 digits or whatever. Take us down. I don't need to be this high.
I would almost like, I don't know if you guys remember the old, I'm sure you do, but you had like, you were level 40.
Yes.
You went up that level first, and that's whenever after that is whenever you started. You capped out at level 50 or whatever, and then you did the light leveling. That's whenever your light level mattered.
Yeah, Taken King brought that. That was the first time that started.
That was Taken King, right?
Raids were the only way to get past a certain point.
Exactly. So then the I don't know, the leveling thing, and I've recently come a part of this because I've been doing more PvE recently and doing Grandmasters, doing Master Vogs. I'm sitting at a certain light level that should be comfortable. I shouldn't, but I cannot take down this overload champion to save my damn life. But it shouldn't be that way. And I know I'm complaining for no reason, but like I've played a lot of this game.
Yeah.
I should not be in the end game content and getting my shit rolled by one enemy, you know? It's annoying because I like the whole thing you've been preaching is I want my stuff to be worth the time I invested. I invested a lot of time in PvE recently, but I'm still getting my shit rocked in all the high-end PvE stuff.
And here's another thing that's like actually kind of crazy that I think Bungie gets offended by also is Grandmasters aren't challenging content, right? Like
no,
people are out
attempted
there.
to solo one the other night and I almost beat it. You know,
people are out there trying. Like Above is making people go bald with Grandmaster Gauntlet. That's great, right? Super fun.
That's
experience.
fantastic. I love that.
People like Leopard Stealth, Bronk, others, you are soloing Grandmasters. They are making the content hard for them. Throwing champions into a strike does not make difficult content. There needs to be changes to things, mechanics. It's 2021. Boss stomping mechanics are lame as fuck.
I agree.
Let's do something different. They create such large open spaces in raids. Garden of Salvation was a great example of it. The final boss mechanics were great. They need to take into account environment. Like, what if Bungie designed a raid boss that made you move through like a castle? Like you had to constantly be moving forward, chasing after things, watching out for the environment, and did like something out of World of Warcraft where there's like DPS checks and stuff like that. Like I just think they need to do better when it comes to PvE content, end game content, essentially.
I agree.
Interesting.
Because I just all we do now as Guardians, there's too much power creep. We get into the boss room, we slap a well and a bubble down, we put on Anarchy, and then we shoot safely from well, and we just repeat. We're just, the content's just not hard enough. We're too powerful.
I can agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Whoop our ass. Kick our ass.
Yeah, I think all I want from Witch Queen is to feel the way I felt when I played the Taken King. I don't want it to be the Taken King. Like I don't want it to like have the same content. There was just a specific way I felt when I played Destiny in that era. I don't know how to explain it.
I feel like there was just always something new to do.
Yeah,
in Taken King. And
just even the lead up, like when the first day I played it, like just everything about it was, I don't know, maybe it's not ever gonna, I'm never gonna feel that way again. It's just like a one-time thing, but there's just something about that whole era that I've never felt like that again. Not even close. I've enjoyed Destiny. I love it. Obviously I play it all the time, but there was just like a newness. Like I felt like a dark, ominous feeling when I played it in a good way, where like the world actually felt different. I don't know. I just want to feel that with this, especially because the art style too will be in the same realm. I'm assuming music should be similar. I mean, it's the Taken Queen Witch basically thing that we always wanted. So
yeah.
That's all I want.
Agree.
I don't care if they change anything. I mean, I want them to change stuff. That's all the stuff I've said for weeks and weeks. But I literally would be happy if I just felt a certain way. That's where I'm at with this, basically.
I feel that.
I agree. I want reason to log in every day. And I know that's a hard challenge for them. I don't know if it's ever going to be possible, but I want that reason to be like, oh, I need to log in today. I want to still farm for this. Right now, my day-to-day for Destiny consists of, on reset right now, I basically log in and I try to do like things that give me high stat armor because I want to min-max my armor. That's not a casual thing, and I don't think that's good for the game. I want lots of things to chase. I want lots of activities and stuff like that. But I don't know what they need to do to make that a reality.
Yeah. There needs to be a reason to play this game for the hardcore and for the, I mean, no pun intended, but but also for the casuals as well.
Not
too.
for too hardcore.
Yeah. There needs to be a reason to play this game. There's some people that get to play maybe 2 hours, on a Friday night and then a few hours throughout the weekend. But then there's some that live off this game's content. And there needs to be a reason for everyone to log in. There needs to be a reason for everyone to play every single activity as well too. Whether there's those that are playing it to get the high stat armor, whether those that play it to hear the lore at the end, or the cutscene, or literally anything to get the specific gun to take into Crucible, get that specific gun to be an ad boy in a raid, like literally anything. Like I remember in Taken King where I was sitting in my bed and I was like watching all these cutscenes. I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome.
I don't feel
You know?
wowed anymore, unfortunately. I don't. And
Exotics
I
feel
don't, like I
different.
said, yeah. Exotics don't feel as personable, right? Like I remember in Destiny when I got like what's a good example of an exotic that I really liked?
Simple ones, Gallarhorn or
I lived for
Yeah,
bad juju. I thought because it
yeah.
played to my play style.
I felt well, I was more specifically talking about armor too. I feel like it rains exotics now, and I know why they did it, but I'm specifically talking about what was the warlock helmet that had like feathers?
the Ram.
No,
Oh,
not the
no.
ram.
Yeah. The one that you used in trials all the time.
Yeah,
Vestigian
Like,
something maybe. I can't remember.
I
No.
remember getting that and being like, oh man, I want, to build my build around this. And you could go to Xur and get glass needles and rework it and stuff like that. I just want to like get armor and be able to do things with it. Like it feels like I'm just constantly swapping out pieces. There's just no meaning to them. I just want them to put value in it. I can't either. I can't remember. It was the res one.
Something of the wings of the Sacred Heart or something like that. I don't know. It's oh my god. I have to look this up.
Yeah,
Give me
you
a
gotta
second.
find it. You gotta find it.
Destiny one
Light Beyond Nemesis.
Warlock
That sounds kind of
Wing.
familiar.
helmet.
I don't know. I was a warlock main in D1, and then I slowly.
Yeah, Light
betrayed.
Beyond Nemesis. They were correct. Yep.
Yep. And
I'm
I was
surprised-
a hunter
yeah.
for a long time.
Oh yes. Are you a hunter main?
No, I'm a warlock main.
Okay.
Smart man.
I'm a
warlock
hunter
main.
main with a warlock, whatever you call it, on the side. That's like my
I
side chick.
basically use my hunter as a storage mule. Like it's leveled, but I don't play it. I play my Titan. I play my warlock the most, but I play Titan if I want to just hold W and run people over.
Yeah.
And then hunter, I don't know. I posted a clip on Twitter like a couple weeks ago. Shade step shotgunning with duality, and it was very, very satisfying. But I haven't been on my hunter since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
I think I think I get like a weird high from playing all the characters. Like there's something about every character, and that's how it should be, of course, that like plays to everyone's play style. But I have fallen in love with my warlock recently, whether that's PvE or PvP now with Ophidians and stuff like that. Like so I even tweeted it out. I was like, listen, I'm a warlock main now. I'm sorry, hunters, but it's just they're just better in every way in my opinion at the moment. So
Except the way they look. Just saying.
yeah. Oh, mine looks pretty spicy.
I don't know. If they could make it so I didn't have to wear a dress, then that'd be cool. But I like just capes. I'm a cape.
I've embraced the
only.
dress. I mean, the problem is everybody's hunter looks the same, right? I always
Yeah.
make fun of Sep because that man
The all black hunter.
edgy as fuck. That dude got a blacked out hunter with no cape, looks like an edgy Power Ranger. Like it's just all the same. I can't do it. Everybody looks that way.
No drip whatsoever.
Yeah, blasting Juice World, playing Trials. Like,
That's
come
amazing.
on, bro.
That's amazing. Hey, listen, do you guys, this has nothing to do with anything. I just want to ask if you guys have heard it. Did you guys listen to that new Kid Leroy song
Absolutely.
with Justin Bieber?
That is.
Absolutely.
I
You need
didn't
to listen
until
to it.
like 2 days ago, and I listened to this song, and I've listened to it like a million times. It
Just makes you do
bops.
this the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like doing the Carlton, having a good time. But all right, well,
It's called Stay by Kid Leroy
Stay.
and Justin Bieber.
I'll have to look
It's a
it up.
bop.
Okay.
it's pretty
It's a bop.
good, and the music video is really creative. That's mainly why I liked it, because the music video, like the art on the music video, was 10 out of 10. Sweet, dude. Well, I think that's all the time we have. That was freaking fun talking to you about this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do
That
you
was a
have
time.
anything going on? Like, I want you to like plug yourself here. Like, do you have anything going on? Like, you working on anything new? Do you have YouTube? Do you have an Xanga? Do you have a MySpace? Like, what's going on?
I probably
Xanga.
have a MySpace somewhere, and my AIM is probably still on a way somewhere. But for the most part, my content centralizes around Twitter and Twitch. If you like pizza, you like everyday like personable people, with Destiny 2 content sprinkled in there, my Twitter's probably for you. I'm the same everywhere at T00HARDCORE, T00HARDCORE. I'm trying to get more consistent with the YouTube. I think I'm
It's tough.
pretty decent at it. My problem is I see all these wonderful people that I look up to that make content, and they're just faster at doing it than I am. And I'm like, well, they already made a video, so who cares about my duality opinion? So then I fall into the whole like, I'm just not putting out content. I need to get past that. So yeah, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter is where you can find me. I'm live Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the most part, 7 p.m. Eastern until DGen hours, with weekday streams sprinkled in depending on the family.
Awesome.
Cool.
I have to ask a question because I ask it to everyone. And I'm going to keep asking it until I'm not clanless. Can I join your clan?
Can you join my clan?
I have asked every person.
He's asked. We've had like 4 or 5 Obtain members on here already.
What did they all say?
No one ever answers.
We'll get back with you.
We'll just tell you.
I would just say, here's the deal, right? You don't want to be an Obtained, right? I feel like a Pokemon, right? Above caught me, and now I don't get to play with him ever because he's too Hollywood. Like, he got me in the clan, and he gets to flex me being in the clan, but now he never plays with me.
He gotcha.
Yeah, I'm like, I DM him all the time, want to play, and he's like, yeah, well, you know, the sub count's kind of tough on the YouTube, and I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I guess I'll just go fuck myself then.
Egoed.
No, but in all seriousness, yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you what they told me. Just submit a resume to Above TP on Twitter, and he'll evaluate and let you know in 3 to 4 weeks.
That's hilarious.
My resume is going to say I play this game a lot sometimes.
You don't even have to be good. They brought me into Obtained. I get
great.
right over in GMG every time I come on.
I got rolled over. Oh, it's terrible.
Chat already starts picking out what weapon I'm going to delete before we load into the first GM. It's actually insane.
That's amazing.
Oh, good. It was a blast. I got to go on there a few weeks ago, and it was so much fun. Oh, I loved it. I can't wait. I hope one day he asks me to be on it again, because I'll say yes in a heartbeat.
I want to get on as well.
I reach out to Above. He's always looking for people to join. You don't have to. There's no stipulations. He just wants people that, you know, he thinks are going to have a good time. I'm super competitive. I've been on it 3 times. I'm 1 and 2. I go into it, and I can always grind for God roll replacements, even though it's a balding experience. But the content that comes from it is top tier, and it is worth it.
I literally forgot I was streaming. Like, it got to a point where I was just like, literally just felt like I was playing games with my buds, and I had to delete a God roll retold, and 2 days later I got even.
You got it back? Oh my gosh, dude! I'm mad because I was supposed to be on the one with Maddox.
Yeah.
Because we had all been on here, and we're like, let's do it on Saturday. But then that crew game happened. That like last minute, they're like, can you film? So I had to cancel last minute because, I mean, it was pretty cool. So I had to cancel.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Above is super approachable. We're all like, we were actually talking about people he could get on last night, late into the evening, and he's always looking for people. So you know, shoot your shot. He doesn't have an ego. I joke about him having one, but he's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and he's cracked at everything Destiny. Like he'll tell you he sucks at PvP, but he's good. He's good at PvP.
Yeah, we had him on like what, 2 weeks ago, Max? 3 weeks ago?
Something like that, yeah.
It was awesome. I freaking love talking to that dude. He was hilarious and so nice and genuine, because that's how all you successful people are. You're all nice and genuine. I love it.
They always put ski at the end of everything. I love it.
Yeah.
What's up? I ever since then I've been like hanging out in this chat. Just I've been watching every GMG since then, and it's just, dude. He posted the YouTube video of mine, and I was on there with him and Frosty, and I just like, holy crap, just got to relive it. I was like, that was just so much fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best content, like chat, like my community will tell you, I am bad at PvE. They love watching me suck at PvE. I do GMs during the week. They make me put up a death counter. It's just, I'm okay leaning, like I said early on, I'm okay leaning into the meme. I love getting loot. I love making people laugh. Even if they're laughing at me, for the most part, I know most of it is genuine. They're enjoying their time. And anytime that I can provide a space for people to kind of escape, you know, IRL stuff and laugh and kind of forget about the outside world is a win in my book. So.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, it was super awesome to have you. Maddox, what do you have going on?
Actually, speaking of Above, I just recently got a hold of him, and we are going to actually put together a raid race. We spoke about it when he was on the podcast, and I messaged him. I'm like, listen, when I get this new PC, I'm nothing but PvP boy. I'm getting back to my gremlin, shoddy loadouts and stuff like that. But until then, let's get this going. Raid race. We're going to be doing all 4 raids back to back. It's going to be, you cannot have any exotic armor or guns. You have to have 2 of each subclass. You must complete every raid how it is intended. No cheesing, no skipping. And the fastest team to do all 4 raids, like each raid's going to have the time, you add them together. Whoever does the fastest wins. I haven't talked about a wager yet, but the last time I did this, the wager was the loser had to wear clown makeup on the next stream. So that will be happening next Sunday, a week from today, happening around this time. It'll be 7 p.m.
Who's on your team?
So.
Do you already have teams?
I do. I don't know about above, but I have
Thanks
my team together.
Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
That was super kind
You're
of
welcome.
you. This is me legitimately being angry. Man, I hate you.
It's gonna be right before the.
I hate you so much.
Right before the podcast.
What a loser. I hope that you, if you go long, I'm gonna do it without you. You can just be doing that.
We might actually be going during the podcast.
That's fine. Good. I'll do this by myself. I can do it. I'll happily. I won't even have a guest. I'll just do it by myself. Just talk to myself about how much fun I'm having playing.
I'm gonna DM above and see if he's got a team already.
I don't know if he does or not. We might honestly have to change it because I literally just until now I forgot about the podcast time. So
it's fine. You don't need to be here. I can literally do it by myself with a guest. I don't care. So I'm serious. We don't need you. It's fine.
But other than that, you can catch me at Maddox, twitch.tv/Maddox. I'm right now doing GM carries until my eyes bleed. Or Master Vog carries. Been doing Master Vog challenges to help out the community as well too with a lot of Mr. Hardcore's friends, Mr. Frosty and Don. We've been playing with them a lot recently, and just having fun doing it. So, if you guys looking for those PvE carries, come and hang out. I'm at Maddox on Twitch on everything else as well too. So,
heck yeah, sweet. I'm moving in next week. Not this week, coming up the week after I'm moving. So. I have 0 things happening other than I'm going to move and I got to buy a desk and I don't know. I got a lot of, my life's about to change a lot. So you can follow me at twitch.tv/BeardedLuke. I don't know when I'm going to stream again, but it's going to happen eventually. You can also sub to me on YouTube. I don't make any YouTube content right now either. If you really want to see something I'm making, just follow ALC Productions. It's my like business. Like I post content every day on there because it has nothing to do with video games, but it's what I'm constantly working on. But yeah, so all right, cool. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you again, dudes, for hanging out tonight.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Absolutely,
dude.
It was so fun. We'll have to have you on
thank you
again
for joining.
soon. So it'll be fun. But anyways, if you're listening or watching this podcast should be available on YouTube and anywhere you can listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those spots. It'll be there next week, and I dare you to listen to it. If you're listening to this right now and not watching it live, we are so thankful that you take your time to listen to this podcast. It's super awesome. And 27 episodes done. This has been fun so far. Also, big shout out to Havoc. Hope he's doing great. He's our other co-host that is still taking a little break. We love him so much. And if you know him and you're listening, go give him, go DM him and tell him he's cute or something. But hey, thank you for listening, everyone. We love you so much, and we will see you next time. Adios.